Awesome. Okay, well let's start off. So, if you guys, I know we were in contact a little bit before the interview here, but for everybody that's tuning in for the first time, just maybe let everybody know who you guys are, what you guys do, and
My name is Matt. I am Tom DeLong in the band. I do lead vocals and guitar. Started the band back in 2014, and been having a blast doing it. We've been on and off.
Yeah, I'm Ryan. I play bass. I do some vocals. I joined the fellas in, actually, it would have been October 7th, 2022. It was my sister's birthday. Maddie messaged me and was like, after a number of years off with the band, he was like, hey, do you want to play bass in the band? We're getting it back together. We have a show booked. At this point,
bass player.
Yeah, it was like, we need a bass player. Do you want to play bass? And I said, well, I can play bass. I don't own a bass. Give me a minute to like think about it. And I think it was like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, I'm in.
We'll figure it out.
And then I went to Long and McQuaid the next day and bought a bass.
Off of me.
Yeah, off of you. Maddie works at Long and McQuaid. And then it's been awesome ever since. And yeah, I sang a song with them on the very first show that they did back in 2014. So
it's all full circle then.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That's brilliant. So if you guys can kind of take me back to some of the earlier days of the band, what's it like? I mean, how do you guys get to the decision? Like, was there a moment when you guys said we want to go Blink 182? That suits our sound. Like, was there kind of an inceptual moment that happened that kind of pushed you guys in that direction?
I think for me, it was my second year of college in 2014. And I found an old CD book full of old Blink 182 and Simple Plan and shit like that. And there was a festival in Montebello, Quebec called Rock Fest, and Blink 182 was headlining it. We found about that in 2013. And I was like, man, we were doing cover bands and stuff like that. And we always had a rule that we'd only do one song per band in our bands for whatever reason.
Sure.
And it kind of frustrated me because it was like, well, I mean, if you go and do all the small things, and everyone wants to hear What's My Age Again and Damn It and stuff like that. So it's just like, I always kind of thought it'd be fun to do a full homage to the bands and do the full thing. So we talked about my brother Michael, who does the second guitar, and he does the Mark Hoppus. We found that our voices were kind of perfect for the two different kind of things. He's super monotone and can kind of deliver in that way, where I can be super raspy and high pitched and a whiny little bitch sometimes. And one of our older brother's best friend is our drummer Ryan. He played for a band called Death Valley Driver at the time, and we knew that he came from Blink and Rancid and stuff like that, and Green Day. So we kind of shot him a message like, hey man, like, no one's really doing this kind of stuff here right now. Like, and this is before the tribute bands kind of blew up on the East Coast too. Like, it's an obnoxious amount of tribute bands on the island. Like, I'm in 5 or 6 different ones myself, because it's fun. But we started doing it that way, and then we found out that Blink was playing at that Rock Fest, so we all went out and saw the show together, and just kind of cheered a key to be like, oh shit, like, there's more than Brown Eyed Girl and all that kind of basic bar band stuff, and we could have fun and do the jokes and be obnoxious on stage and have fun with it. So we put together a set, and we ended up doing something like 38 Blink songs. We did three 50-minute sets at a bar called Fishbones. And it was, for me, it was the first time I ever sold out a venue as a musician. So I think for that particular night, it was like, oh shit, like there is there's some wheels behind it. And we did 4. We're trying to be as smart as we could without it, not oversaturate ourselves. And we did 4 shows with the original lineup over, like, say 3 years, and every single one was a sellout. And then our bass player moved away. In between that time, I started an original band called Little Cities that we did some stuff on the East Coast with. And there was like a local bar that did like 12 tributes at Christmas after the tribute thing kind of blew up. So they asked us to do the Blink thing again. So we got our current bass player at the time to do that. And it was an absolute train wreck. And
that kind of sounds like an organic thing that's kind of building not only just through audience sentiment, but also you guys are getting requests. I mean, this stuff
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
100%.
coming out of the woodwork and almost groundswell, you know?
Yeah. Like we both do a lot of solo acoustic stuff, and like people would come up to be like, hey, like, when's the next Blink show? Like,
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
I got a hankering to let loose, because they were wild, man. Like,
So I know you guys just go ahead.
like the first show, like the bar used to have these chandeliers that hung for, and like people were literally hanging off chandeliers, and like it was the first time I've ever seen crowd surfing in a bar, and like we thought the bar was gonna
What's that feel like when you start seeing that kind of ruminate in front of you when you're used to playing shows that are maybe rowdy but not going off the hook, and all of a sudden you got people hanging off the rafters? Do you start feeling like a rock star immediately? Is that moment?
100%. Yeah. I've never seen it go down at a bar as an audience member, let alone being on the stage. And like, I did a lot of acoustic stuff, a few full band shows, not very many, but I was always just like, playing something in the background. But it was the first time that I was fronting or co-fronting a band, and to see that stuff, it lit a huge fire, and kind of started a somewhat of a career for myself on Prince Edward Island, just playing in a lot of different bands and doing a whole lot of different stuff and a niche thing. And now I'm known as the Blink-182 or the Stacy's mom guy in town.
Wait, so when you guys you guys just played a show last night, correct?
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's all. Okay, so when you guys are starting to get the crowds getting rowdy and you're getting that, it's got to feel like Blink-182 when the crowd's starting to get interactive and you guys are getting a little naughty. How do you control that vibe? How do you keep it so it's maybe R-rated but not X-rated? How do you
many dick jokes as we can?
Yeah, we lean into it a lot. Like, I mean, I remember when they started the band years ago, I was at all the shows. I was friends with these guys, and I got up to do Josie on the first show. But I was at all the shows, and like Matt said, the vibe was always like the crowd was right there with you. Like they wanted to have that experience, so they were kind of already ready to go. And yeah, same like now that I've joined the band back in 2022, like it's the same thing. Like the people that are coming to, and we benefited in a huge way from the fact that Blink, it was literally 2 or 3 days after I joined the band that Blink announced that Tom was back in the band.
Oh, so it was simpatico. Yeah.
It was like perfect timing. And then they released a new record. So you have all of these old fans like us that are they've been along for the ride since Buddha and Dude Ranch and early Blink, and then you have a bunch of kind of kids that are just kind of hearing about them now, and getting into.
You guys are that connecting factor there. It seems like.
Yeah. So you have all these people coming to the shows now that are young and old, our age, younger, and it's great. Everyone wants to have that same experience, so we're able to absolutely lean into it. Like Dick jokes.
I felt that a lot. I actually just had an experience. I got married in Vegas in October. Went to the When We Were Young festival down there.
Oh no, that's awesome.
Yeah, was able to see Green Day, Blink, Sum 41. 30 Seconds to Mars was total trash, by the way. You'd be surprised. Jared Leto's a complete ass clown. He tried to start a riot, but that's a whole other thing. But Blink-182, what a stage show! And like if you guys can capture 1/10 of the kind of the insanity that they get going on the thing there. So a question or a few questions here, a little more specific. What do you guys like to play on stage? Do you guys have favorite Blink-182 songs that you like, or is there a certain set list that you guys really fire up the crowd?
That's a good question.
Personally, for me, I mean, we end the shows with "Damn It." And that one is a banger. People love that. The singles are fun to play. Obviously, the singles are great. They're singles for a reason because they're written to be hit songs. But if you give us, I mean, we played a 2.5-hour set at Trailside Music Hall back in June, and like some of the deep cuts that were selfishly just like we need to play these. For me. But like you have people that are right there with you for those songs because they also love them. So but a lot of the singles, like I love playing "Stay Together for the Kids."
Yeah, "Stay Together for the Kids," fun one. And like I said, like I played a lot of cover bands. So it's like, "What's My Age Again," "Damn It," All Small Things. I play them all the time. I still love playing them. But when we do the full show and we get to play Violence, or we get to play Dysentery Gary or Mutt, or Joe.
Deeper cuts, yeah. So do you guys find that now from a fan's point of view of Blink's career, a little bit more depthy music later in their career, a little bit more stuff that has a little bit more of a rock and roll anthem, or like the whole album has a theme to it? Do you guys try to incorporate any of that type of stuff into your shows? Like, do you think that list and you really want to leave them with an overall experience, or you're just like you said, sometimes it's stuff for you sentimental, sometimes it's what's going to get them up and banging? How do you guys come up with that feel?
A little bit of selfishness of what we want to play and when we want to play it, but also trying to be smart. And like, we both saw them you saw them twice in the last 14 months. I saw them twice in the last 14 months.
You guys are taking notes.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been playing their set the way that they play their set for a reason. Like, there's a reason that there's certain songs that you open with. And I find that, like, when you try to make a short set, it's really, really tough. But whenever we do like a 2.5 hour show, like when we played the Trailside show, and it's what we'll do again for the other ones, is you pretty much make the two best sets you could possibly dream of and just do it again in the same kind of anthematic order of like starting hard, starting fast, fuck you dad kind of shit, get into the slow pretty stuff, and then end on a party again. So, like, that's
interesting. I talked to a lot of stand-up comics. They have the rhythm you speak of is actually not far off how they construct it.
That's interesting. There is a metric to it of like, and you got to think in the presence of an audience, like where, you're pre-game and you're having a good time, you want to get fired up, and then you want to give them 6 songs, and then they want to get another beer, and they want to piss, and they want to have a smoke, and then you give them the songs. It's like, okay, it's hits, fun stuff, couple B-sides, hits, end off, let's take 10 minutes, everybody kind of stretch your legs. But I remember watching, it has nothing to do with Blink, but it was like a Rolling Stones thing where they were like, it doesn't matter what you play in the middle, as long as your first 4 songs are your 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th biggest song you've ever put out, and your last 4 are your first 4 biggest songs you ever put out.
So there is a system. If
whatever happens in the middle,
you get the results. Yeah.
People are already there and they haven't left yet, and they're not going to leave until they hear "Damn It." They're not going to leave until they hear all the small things and stuff like that.
A really cool thing too with playing in a band like this, it's been around for a long time, and where you have that crowd that loves nostalgia, is that the people that are coming, they're not just coming out to see the hits and the singles. Like everybody has those favorite songs that not necessarily went huge, and those, like, when we're picking the set, like, we're picking them because we have to choose the songs in a smart way, but also,
I mean, you're fans too.
Exactly. I love these songs. Like last night we had to throw an audible because we planned a 50 minute set, and we realized we were over halfway through, 20 minutes in. So we had to pick an audible in a song we hadn't practiced recently, and we played Dysentery Gary, which is not a hit.
Yeah.
It's amazing songs.
But it was one of the better reactions of the night.
Awesome. Yeah. You get that surprise spot.
There's a group that has been coming to like all of our shows lately, and they're super interactive with us online. And it's 2 sisters, and they said they have a really good relationship with their father, and it came from music, and he takes them to see Blink-182 all the time. And they came to our show in Trailside, and one of them came up to us after and was like, "Thank you so much for playing stuff off Neighborhoods. I've seen them live 4 times, and I think I've heard a song from that record." He's just like they refuse to play it. And
that's fascinating. So you guys are kind of connecting the dots and filling in some of the gaps that are hardcore just like you, and are looking for those songs just like you, but never get a chance to hear them live.
And almost to backtrack to one of the things we were talking about, like, I remember we did the show in, what was it, June or July of 2014, and I think in August I took my brother for his birthday to go see Blink at that Rockfest show, and then we did a New Year's show. And I think when we saw Blink at Rockfest, they played 3 more shows and Tom was done with the band. And we played the New Year's Eve show, and I wish I knew who it was because I tease the hell out of him to this day. But a grown man came up to me and gave me a hug crying. And he said, I never got to see Blink. I'm never going to get to see Blink. But I think this is just as good, if not better, than actually getting to see them.
Oh, wow. That gave me goosebumps as you're saying it. That's a wild story, man.
I'm assuming it was a mixture of the Schooner and Jaeger.
But however you get there, man. However you get there.
Tom's gone. I'm never going to get to see them again. He's like, I can't believe how authentic you guys are to the band from what I've seen and heard online and stuff. And again, backtracking too, like the whole idea, like when we came up with the first original band name, which was the Hannah P and Proddy Show, which worked out well because my brother and I, there's four of us in the band. We've always done with it four because we felt that the need to replicate the songs as well in the studio needed that extra guitar. Whether you want to say that it's a true tribute or not, whatever, fuck yourselves. We wanted to call it the Hannah P and Proddy Show, and I studied. Like I did more studying listening to the Tom, Mark, and Travis show than I did in college. Like listening to every joke and the sound effect they do when the devil comes in to talk and stuff like that. Like we manipulated the hell of it and we used it all, and we tried to do the Hannah P and Proddy Show
as the live album.
What would that album be if they had their full catalog? Like
that's ambitious. So do you feel like when you take on a project like that and you're swinging for the fences, how do you know when you've done it? How do you just say that's it, we've done it? Because I mean, you could just keep going. I know what you mean about rabbit holes, and you could just keep getting into every detail, every little drum bit, but at some point you got to hit the stage with it, right? Like how do you draw those lines?
Honestly, I think when it comes to that side of stuff, it's as long as everybody understands the project and that we came here with a mission and to be respectful, but let's have a good time. People are here for a reason. The people that paid money to come into this door have a sense of humor, and they're here to have some laughs and some cries and have some good times. So as long as the music's good and the banter is there, everything else just comes organically. Like I think
you guys were talking a little bit. Yeah, sorry to cut you off there. You guys were talking a little bit earlier about your sellout shows. So you guys had one at Trailside Music Hall, which was off the hook. You guys are selling out shows. You guys are filling up buildings. You guys have people hanging off rafters. Like what's you got guys coming up crying their eyes out telling you that you're changing their lives. Do you guys have some other examples of the kind you're living the rock star lifestyle here? Is there some other stuff that sticks out in your mind that maybe people might not believe that a cover band gets, or maybe might not believe that you guys are getting? Reactions from crowds.
We had
things like that. Tom Jones stuff.
One person. So we have the Instagram account Blink 902 Band, and after our Trailside show, so I run the Instagram account for the band, and so people are sharing like the day after you're going through seeing all the Instagram stories that the band was tagged in, which is always awesome. And I'm flipping through, and I stumble across one, and it's a video of us playing a song, and text over top of it is Blink 902 sounds more like Blink 182 than Blink 182 does. And I was just died laughing. It was so fucking funny.
Yeah. And again,
that's a compliment. That's beautiful.
That same show, like I said, there's the group of sisters that come to a lot of our shows. Their dad came up, and I was like, here, too many dick jokes in front of their daughters or whatever. And he's just like, listen, boys, I've taken the girls to see Blink too many times that my credit card can handle. He's like, fucking incredible. That was awesome. You guys were so good. That was fun. And I was like, oh, thanks so much, Dan. And he's like, B, your guys' banter is spot on. He's like, I couldn't believe is like the timing, the quickness of the jokes, even like the nonchalant things that like aren't supposed to be funny that we think is hilarious. There's a clip. We got a guy to film our entire show from the Trailside show, and there's a clip that we were going in to play one more time, I think, and it was so hot, and Michael that does all the Mark Hoppus stuff just kind of moved to one end, and he hit the AC, and I'm just about to start this nice, beautiful, sentimental song, and he's just like, fuck, That breeze feels good right on the microphone by accident. But he's just like, that's the shit that does naturally happen. The does feel good.
There were so many people that heard him say that, and nobody thought, everybody thought it was a joke somehow, but nobody got it. And it was quite literally like being psyched on a breeze. Yeah.
You know you're crushing when they're reacting to the AC jokes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually got a few questions from some of the people that follow me online. So they asked some of my people if they had some questions for you guys.
Yeah.
And they put some together for you. So I wanted to get to those before we get any further.
Yeah.
So
like rapid questions where we have 2 seconds to answer. We just go with the flow here.
Perfect. Yeah, it's one of them you guys have already answered, so we'll knock one off here. The first one here was what your favorite Blink-182 song to perform and why. Maybe I'll get each one of you guys to answer that specifically. Favorite Blink-182 song to perform, go.
Anthem 2.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's such a roller coaster of a tune. There's so many big parts. In the bridge, we get a chance to hang out and talk to the crowd for a second. And I think it really showcases a lot of the people's talents. Like there's a nice empty part where there's just bass. It shows where having the 2 guitar players in this tribute truly, really shines. And I think it shows the dynamic of all of our vocals too. And it's one of the one songs we actually get to do true harmonies on stuff. And it's always just a nice, like, okay, here we go. Strap yourself in. We're back. Yeah.
For me, Josie, even though funny enough, we fuck up Josie more than any other
every single time.
And honestly, it's usually me that fucks. We played
it's like scribbling or sketching for you.
Yeah, we didn't play it last night, but when we played it at Trailside, P, our drummer, Ryan P, he started the song on the drums, and then I started the bass intro. I'm gonna say like half a beat too late, and then I was just locked into it.
Yeah.
And anyway,
but that's my favorite the whole time.
I love playing that song. It's fast. It's like just a classic punk.
It is my personal favorite of all the Blink-182 songs. So I'm with you on that one.
I think that's the song too that like the OGs came to the show being like, are they gonna play it?
Yeah.
Because that song's not easy.
It's not.
And you guys said you closed with it, right? Did I hear you right there?
Say again?
You said you guys closed with Josie. Is that correct?
It's like I think it's the 3rd last song.
Yeah.
Damn It's usually the close.
Yeah, we usually close with Damn It.
Usually.
Okay. So in the inverse of that question, what do you hate playing, but you feel like you got to, or what Blink-182 song do you hate? Maybe not to perform, but maybe what's one that just you're never gonna do, or you just absolutely loathe.
So I don't hate playing any of them. Like even like the overplayed singles, like What's My Age Again, like Small Things, like they get played. I still love playing them.
You find a way to love those then.
I don't like playing Adam's Song.
That's fair.
Adam's Song is it's kind of a bummer. But it's one of their most popular songs. But yeah, that one, I'm not a big fan of playing that. And we haven't recently.
I don't think there's any songs I don't like playing live. I fucking hate practicing always.
Yeah.
Because like for me, it's a great song. It's a pretty song, but it's just so boring as a musician standpoint. And I hate doing it until you're in a packed room.
Yeah.
And everyone's screaming the chorus back at you. You're like, okay, this is fun.
That's perfect. That leads into my next question. What sound or noise do you love to hear from the audience, and what sound or noise do you hate to hear from the audience?
That's a good question.
That is a question.
For me,
and if you feel like making that sound or noise, you guys go right ahead. You're professionals.
I mean, the sound I hate is boo.
That gets you every time.
Luckily, we don't hear it too often.
We don't hear that. For me, it's not necessarily a specific sound, but when we play I Miss You live, we do it the way Blink does it live, where the start of Tom's verse, where it leads in with that classic super nasally where are you? Where are you?
There you go.
And when Blink does it live, the rest of the band stops playing when Tom starts that, and we took that into our set, and that's the cue for like the entire crowd to scream the words back at us.
And one of our favorite parts.
That's one of my favorite parts of our set is when that crowd is just screaming.
That's a goosebumps.
Yeah.
I got it as you're describing it, so that's dope. I get what you're saying. Okay, so next question. This is from one of my long-term fans. What's your favorite curse word or phrase to use on stage? She's like, you got him in an interview. You got to ask him that.
I say fuck a lot. I don't know why, but I've really enjoyed saying cock lately. If I stub my toe, I just say cock. I don't know if I have a favorite word to say on stage, but I think my favorite joke that I've made on stage lately is I announced to the crowd that Ryan had the world's largest micro penis, and that one hit pretty good. I was pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, that one, I didn't know that he was going to say that, and I lost my mind. I laughed pretty hard. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I say fuck a lot.
Yeah.
I just say fuck a lot in general.
Get that East Coast twang, that fact. You got the fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, how about other bands?
That's a good question.
You guys you guys do a lot of work with other bands. Your own bands and stuff like that. Is there anybody you guys got on your wish list, or anybody you guys would hope to work with? Aside from the band in question.
I mean, like, as far like you're saying, like another band that we would like to play with.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you're moving up the track here, I mean, envisioning a career maybe moving forward past a year here. Is there a stage you guys would like to be on? An artist you guys could see yourself beside?
I've had the pleasure of playing the Marquee once. I would love to go back to the Marquee in Halifax. I think that's a room we could really work and have a lot of fun with that. I'd love to see us at, doing one of the side nights at Area 506 or something like that. I think it's proven that the club shows are fun, but I think we have the show to bring to any size stage.
Go bigger.
Like in a non-cocky way, like the talent's there to play the songs. Like, we have the drummer, we have the people that can do the vocals, we could play the songs really well, but I think we just have a good natural homage to Blink that we can make the show go as it goes, and we know how to kill time, and we know how to get through awkward situations that, like, we can handle a crowd of 50 or 500 or whatever. So I'd love to get down to the Marquee. Kyle, give us a shout. Area 506, Tide and Bore.
Yeah. The other thing too, we've all been playing in bands and playing solo acoustic stuff. We've been playing live for ages, right? So, we've played. I've played, an acoustic set where you're playing to the bartender for 3 hours. Maddie's played acoustic sets where you're playing to 3 people who only want to hear Brown Eyed Girl. And we played full band sets where you're playing to, a few people and you're also playing to a sold out club. So we've had a pretty good run of experience with kind of running the gamut of shows. With this band, we're all very willing to make the shows a show, like Matt said, and make them a bit of a spectacle. So, committing to a show where you don't know if you're committing to not making a profit in order to, bring in the best lights, the best sound, bring in some production. Because, like, you want to have a good experience yourself, but also you want to have something to show for it. And you want the people there to be like, they played the songs fucking awesome. They were funny, but also, holy fuck, like, the show looked awesome.
Is that on that note? Is it a challenge for bands in your range to start to get funding, to get investment, to get that type of next level production value going, or are you guys able to make enough work and do enough stuff to be able to squirrel away enough to do those shows on your own, or is the structure there in the Canadian entertainment industry to give you guys support?
I think that the structure there for original bands to a degree. But I mean, a lot of it's who you know and who you blow and shit like that. Like, I've seen it all the time in PEI where there's certain non-for-profit organizations that help out musicians that the same 7 people seem to get $10,000 every other year, but
Yeah. We see a lot of that out on the West Coast as
People
well.
that have
So it's
credit
not
cards
unique to
and
you guys.
maxing out their credit cards and borrowing their dad's van and driving across the country and doing the hustle because they got a couple extra distortion pedals on their guitar board.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's shit like that where like I find that there is a lot of assets. There's a lot of great people and great, like I said, not-for-profit things that help musicians get going. But I do feel like they cater to a more softer sound. I think for us in our particular situation, like Ryan and I both been nominated for Weekend Warriors of our music PEI stuff. Like people literally joke with me all the time, be like, how many fucking bands do you play in? And I honestly don't know. Like it just depends on the week or the month or the year, what gets brought back. But like we're just well known enough names, just respectfully because of the hustle of how much that we're out there and we're trying to do everything. And like Ryan said, I've played 1,000 shows to nobody. I've played 1,000 shows to hundreds of people. I've played more shows than most people. I've forgotten more shows that I've played than most people will ever play. That's because PEI is a small town, and luckily we're considered to be medium to big size fish in a small pond. But with that, we have a lot of great connections and a lot of great friends. There's only so many production companies here, and like the guy that runs the biggest one in town lives 6 houses up from right here.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's there. It's there. You just got to hustle.
We know the guys. It's a scheduling thing 9 times out of 10 to like, can these guys be here? But we also have a lot of people on our team that understand that, like, hey, like, as much as these guys are willing to not make any money at this gig to pay me what I deserve, I think that these guys can keep me busy and fill my schedule and make me more money down the road that I can afford to lose $200 than what I usually get on this night to help them out, make sure the lights are banging. And if they do a 7-week or a 7-day tour, they're going to take me and they're going to pay me well and they're going to make sure everything's good to go.
That's awesome. What jobs would you never take? Just to give people a kind of a broad side of your personalities. Where could you guys never work? Where is places that you would never find yourself?
I used to be a chef for 12 years. I don't know if there's enough money to make me go back and to work in a kitchen. Anything at a desk, man. I can't just sit there. I gotta be talking to people. I gotta be doing something. I got ADHD out the fucking ass, so I gotta be moving and grooving and being with people. I'm super social. Like I don't think I could work at a desk. I don't think I could do a call center job. I like being on the road. I like meeting new people. I think that if I couldn't sing anymore, I couldn't play guitar anymore, I think I'd go into pro audio and like work with friends and do kind of that kind of stuff. But I couldn't be in a one place at a time and just sit on my computer and I 100%. Yeah.
For me, I managed a cell phone store for like 3 or 4 years, many years ago, and I would never fucking do that again because everybody fucking hates their cell phone provider.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you don't think about that, yeah.
Even if it was your fault, it is somehow my fault. And that was like somebody used to come in and like, why is my bill $500? Well, on your bill it says you talked to somebody in Europe for like a ridiculous number of hours.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa, fix it.
You were on Pornhub before 9 p.m.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean?
Nothing
like,
you can do.
All that to say, like, because we do all have jobs, like going back to the talk about funding, like I think, and I would assume you would agree, I think if funding is available, it should be going to original music.
Yeah.
But also, like Maddie said, like through playing all the time, playing so often, so many years, you make those friends. So you might not be getting funding, but you're creating opportunities for yourself and for the band just through knowing people. And we have that, we can take some risks with, let's commit to not making any money. If we do, cool.
Yeah.
But if we don't make any money, it's okay. We're going to be okay. So it gives us the opportunity to have fun with these shows, put on big shows, bring in big lights, big sound, and not risk, maybe not being able to make.
You guys leave it all out there.
Yeah.
One.
On top of that too, like I feel like, in my opinion, there's a lot of these, like I said, with the funding and stuff like that. It's like you get it to go towards a band, but like there's many people like myself to be like, yeah, I play in a fun, successful Blink-182 tribute band, but I also play in a Nickelback tribute band. I also play in a Shania Twain tribute band. I also play in a cover band that plays every Thursday and every Saturday night at a bar. Like, where's the bursaries for those guys to be like, this guy's fucking hustling and playing his dick off and doing everything under the sun to provide multiple sources of entertainment for multiple sources of crowd, and going everywhere from playing power pop country ballads.
The jack of all trades grant.
Yeah, or jackass of all trades in my in my stead. But like, it's like you get those people to be like, hey, here's $10,000, go do the same show you've been doing for the last 10 years. Take it where you want to go. Or, hey, here's this guy that could play the same club 5 nights in a row with 5 different bands and give 5 different completely shows with feeding the mouths of 13 other musicians, keeping people.
Sometimes you need the wheels, and sometimes you need the grease on the wheels.
It's like where's the loves for those entrepreneurs in music, whether it's cover bands or original. Like, I respect the hustle. I've done the original thing, and I appreciate all the grants and bursaries that I've got in order to help the sting of recording a single. And I do think that right now those publications should be giving the money to those people, because if I'm a brand new artist not on a song on the radio, how the fuck am I going to get 200 people to come see me at Trailside? Blink does that for us, and our reputation of putting on a party and a good show and making sure that people are getting their well worth of spending $25-$30 on a ticket is an ease of mind to make sure that they have a good time. But like the Original Dog, they can't get people in the room, man. I've tried it. I've done it. I've had great shows. I've had shit shows. But I don't think that there's enough help for the entrepreneurs of music that like are trying to just provide some source of entertainment for people. Like, people spend money. COVID happened. No one was entertained. Everyone was depressed. Now it's over. People want to be entertained.
You betcha. That's why we're here, I think. All 3 of us are in a room today. Last question. This one is one I'm interested. This is my question. All these are my questions, but this is kind of my fanboy question to you guys. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear Blink-182 say when you finally arrive at the pearly gates? All 3 of those motherfuckers are standing there, and they're looking at you, and they say what?
I just want a slow clap.
Yeah.
Slow clap. Say, boys, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. I would really hope that we didn't show up to heaven with Blink-182 and they ask for royalties. Fuck, I'd be so bummed out if we see them. Yeah, they're like, how much money do you guys make playing our songs?
Technically none.
Yeah, technically none. But no, I don't know. I'd be
as long as they're not holding up a checkbook or holding up a debit book. Yeah.
I'd hope to show up and they'd be like, you know what? Do you want to play some songs?
Yeah.
Like, that's the answer.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to do.
That's awesome.
I would just hope that at some point, the next time Tom's sick and has to cancel the show, they'll just fly me in to do it.
Yeah.
if we can get you guys on the radar there. I know they tune into the Noisecast. I've had them watch before, so maybe they check out, take a look at some of these clips. That's all I got for you, gentlemen. This has been an absolute pleasure. You guys are a total riot.
Hey, likewise, man. Likewise.